Good morning or good afternoon. Today I'm going to go over this Delta Math activity with you so that you have a good idea of what you're supposed to be working on. And if you get stuck, it will help. See, let me share my screen. There we go. Okay, so you should have this Delta Math pulled up on your computer. You can watch this video in parts, like as you go through each one, you can watch it all at once and then go back if you get stuck. However, you want to watch it to help you. I'm just going to really quickly show you what it's looking for on each one of these, because I know sometimes you guys get confused on what it's asking for. So, does the triangle below appear to be scalene, isosceles, or equilateral? You have these in your journal. And if you don't remember, it's going to show you in a second if you get it wrong. So select the best answer choice below and why. The triangle appears to be, this one is equilateral because it has one, two, three equal sides. And so, like I said, if you don't remember, this part right here is going to show you scalene, no equal sides, isosceles, two equal sides, equilateral, all three equal sides. So just copy this down in your journal if you need this to look back at if you don't already have it, but you should have this in your journal. And then same idea here, just with the angles instead of the sides, so acute, right, or obtuse. If I look at these angles, this triangle appears to be acute because it has three acute angles. Remember, acute is less than 90, so less than a right angle. And then same thing, you can copy this down if you get confused and you need something to look back at. So that's the first ones. This one is classifying quadrilaterals. Remember, a quadrilateral, quad means four, so it's a four-sided shape. So select which of the shapes below is a parallelogram and explain why. So there's only, let's see, these ones obviously cannot be quadrilaterals because they have too many sides. These ones both have four. A parallelogram is going to have two sets of equal sides, or not equal sides, of parallel sides. So like this side here and this side here are parallel, and this side here and this side here are parallel. So D is a parallelogram, not C, D, because it appears to have two pairs of parallel sides. This one here has one pair, it's got the top and the bottom, but these two would eventually touch. So it's not a parallelogram. It is a quadrilateral, but not a parallelogram. And I believe, yep, this one has the same thing. So if you want to copy this down to help you with this part, you can totally do that too. But you do also have this in your journal already, in your hierarchy of quadrilaterals. And then this one, same idea. Which of the following statements is below is true? A parallelogram is a four-sided shape with four right angles at equal sides. So we just said that a parallelogram has four sides, but it has two sets of parallel sides. So that's not the right definition. A parallelogram is a type of rhombus, maybe. A square is a four-sided shape with four right angles and equal sides. Well, that's a true statement for sure. A trapezoid is a four-sided shape. I can stop there. A trapezoid is not a quadrilateral. And then this is what you have in your journal here. Did I say quadrilateral? It's not a quadrilateral. It is a quadrilateral. It doesn't have two pairs of parallel sides. So if you want to copy this down, you can, but you already have this in your journal. So this is a good thing to use your journal for today. Choose which of the following is true. All quadrilaterals are squares. Well, obviously they're not all squares. There's other kinds of quadrilaterals. They're not all rhombuses. All trapezoids are not squares, but all rectangles are quadrilaterals because all rectangles have four sides. So it's just about making that make sense. This one, we're moving into unit conversions. I gave you extra time on this one. All it is, okay, how many minutes are in an hour? 60. How many hours are in a day? 24. How many days are in a year? 365. Are in a meter. So think about your King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Here, let me see if I could pull this up. So if I'm looking at, what does it say? Milli and meter. Meters here, one, two, three. So I need three zeros, so 1,000. How many hours are in a day? 24. How many feet are in a yard? 3. Millimeters are in a liter. Same idea, 1,000. How many meters are in a kilometer? 1,000. So it's just like practicing this one. This one is the only one that I don't know off the top of my head. Teaspoons are in a tablespoon. Let's see together. It's 3. There you go. I gave you an answer. It's 3. But you just have to get, I believe, 10 of them to reach mastery for this one in 200 seconds. All right, there are 3 feet in a yard. How many feet are in 7 yards? So remember, are we going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit? So feet to yards. We're going from small. No, I'm sorry. We're going from yards to feet because our answer's in feet. We're going from big to small. So we're going to multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. And that's all that is. They showed you a model to kind of explain why, because each one of these is going to have 3 in it. So that's where we get that 21 from. So that's that one. This one is creating a line plot. It's super simple. All it's asking you to do is say, okay, click the numbers to add their x's. So I start with the first number, 12 and 1/2. I click 12 and 1/2. 12 and 1/2 again. Click another one. 13, 11, 11, 11 and 1/2, 11, 10, 10 and a half, 9 and a half, 11 and 1/2. And now that I put all my numbers on there, I just submit. And you just have to do that 10 times. Super simple. This one is going to ask you questions about the line plot. So how many times did he throw the frisbee 56 feet? So if I go to 56 feet, how many times? Well, only one time. That's all. These ones are super simple. These ones are a little bit more complicated. What is the total height of all the sprouts together? So I'll show you this one. I see that I have one that's 1 3/8, another that's 1 1/2, and one that's 1 3/4. Really quickly, I see that 8, 2, and 4 are going to have a common denominator of 8. This is going to be 4/8 because that's the same thing as a half. And 4 times 2 is 8, so 3 times 2 is 6. So now I can just add all these together. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Denominator stays the same. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 6, 13. Can't leave this improper. So if I divide 13 divided by 8, it's going to go in one time with 5 left over. So now I add this one to that, and that's 4 and 5/8. So these ones are a little bit complicated, only in the sense that you have to remember how to add and subtract your fractions, which you're going to see these kinds of questions on Rise. When you see, here, let me put in the fraction, and then go back and type the whole number. When you see these on Rise, this is kind of how you're going to see them. So this is good practice for like just really simple questions. These ones are more similar to Rise questions. So that's why I'm making you do 10 of these ones because I need you to practice. It will explain it to you if you get it wrong, and it will show you step by step what I just did, how they changed them to the same denominator. Then they figured out, okay, that's 3 and 13/8, but then they turned that into a normal fraction. So it will explain it all for you. And that's all you're working on today. It's just the review of those Unit 4 skills that we had a hard time with. They added some new practices, and so I thought this is a good time for you to go over this and to practice it, but I wanted you to know what you're supposed to be doing on each one. If you're still stuck, you can help each other, but I really want you to work on this independently. Um, and that's kind of it for today. So I hope you guys have a good day. I miss you. I hope you're doing good. And I'll be back soon. Bye.